Welcome to the Unlock Wellness Podcast. I'm Dr. Casey, and today's guest is Dr. April Smith. And Dr. April is the lead chiropractor at the Los Angeles Dream Center, and she's doing such inspiring work. She's impacting so many lives of people in need, especially those in situations of addiction and drug dependency, extreme poverty, and homelessness. And with the Maximize Living Foundation, Dr. April is providing lifestyle programs and providing services like nutrition counseling, chiropractic corrective care, fitness training, and detox. And it's really it's helping people discover true health and completely turning their lives around and their families' lives around too. So it's really awesome stuff. So thank you so much, Dr. April, for coming on. I'm excited to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, before we get going into what you're doing at the Dream Center, I thought you could share a little bit about how you ended up in California, because I know that you didn't grow up there, right?
Correct. Yeah, I'm from the East Coast. I claim Virginia, although I've lived kind of in lots of different states. But I graduated from Life University in Marietta, Georgia. And I really, right towards the end, I really didn't know what I was going to do. And my internship fell through with this one doc that I was going to go. And so last minute, now Dr. Mark Pendergrass actually got me into what happened to be a Maximize Living office at the time. And I really had no idea what Maximize Living was. I just kind of needed the internship, and it was really close to where I was at. And I was like, sure, I need this to graduate. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. And they told me that in order to be a part of their office, I had to get to one of their seminars. And that seminar, they talked about the 5 essentials and what they did, which was like nutrition and exercise and detox and basically the whole healthy lifestyle, as well as chiropractic. And the way that I was brought up is my dad and my mom were really big into health. We grew up as vegans, vegetarians. We grew up I literally had to go running before I went to school in kindergarten and first grade because exercise was very important.
I love it though.
So it's just it spoke to me and was like, this makes perfect sense. Like the only thing that I felt like I was missing growing up was the whole chiropractic piece of it. And so I joined Maximize Living right as I graduated. And then my goal was to open my own clinic, my own Maximize Living Health Center. But we couldn't really decide. Both of us couldn't decide on where I was going to practice. Where I wanted to go, they were like, no, it's not a really good demographic. It's not a great area. Choose somewhere else. And where they wanted me to go, I was like, no, I don't really want to live there. So I kind of got stuck in limbo in Charlotte, North Carolina, which was supposed to be 6 to 8 months, ended up being like 2.5 to 3 years.
Wow.
And I worked in a training office there with Dr. Mark Supernaut for years. And then he came out here to California. Dr. Ben Lerner spoke at one of their Thursday night services here, and he came with him. And Dr. Mark came back, and I'll remember this exactly to a T. He came back to our team meeting and was like, hey, we're going to put a clinic in at the Dream Center. It's pretty much a go ahead. They said yes, we said yes, and we're going to need to find a doctor. And he wasn't saying it like to me. He was just saying it in general. Like, this is kind of what's moving forward. That happened this weekend.
Right.
And I kind of had this like gut punch of like, you're going to LA. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not going to go to LA. I'm from a super small town. I never in a million years would want to be in like downtown LA. And I'd never been to the Dream Center. I didn't really even know what it was. But over the next couple of days, we ended up talking. And from then, it kind of just happened pretty quickly. The doors opened and I ended up moving out here. So I came out here specifically to open this clinic.
That's awesome. I mean, like you said, it had to have been like really scary, but like a leap of faith. And but it's cool because like when stuff is like that is meant to happen, everything falls in place pretty quickly, I feel like.
It does. Yeah, and it did. And I packed my car. What didn't fit in my car didn't come. And I literally just drove across country by myself. And at the time, I only knew like 2 people in this, like my best friend from growing up is from Huntington Beach. And so she was like 45 minutes to an hour away. And my uncle actually lived only like 10 miles away from the Dream Center, which I was thinking, oh, that's super close. But he was like, well, it'll probably be closer to 45 minutes to an hour. And I was like, it's 10 miles. But, traffic in LA.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. So cool. So you get there and you start getting the clinic set up. So do you want to walk through the process of just getting that set up and, how the beginning stages?
I got out here like 2 months before we actually opened because the construction was going on. Mm-hmm. So we are actually inside the Dream Center, and the Dream Center is the Queen of Angels Hospital that's been around, I believe, since like the 1920s. And they bought it and they've completely renovated it. And it is a home anywhere from 700 to 900 people at a time. It can go up to 1,000. They have so many different programs in here. They have like a veterans program. They have a single families floor program. They've got a family floor. They've got the rehab program. They've got a leadership school program. And so everybody lives here on campus. And if you're in a program here, it doesn't cost anything. It's not run by the government, so it's completely free. So they do all of their own fundraising and donations. And so we came in and got a lot of the donors the vendors from Maximize Living that we work with. They were amazing enough to donate pretty much everything in the office, from a digital x-ray machine to adjusting beds to tablets were completely digital. We've got the MyoVision scanner. We've got kind of all of that stuff. And that was all donated. And so it was just kind of put together. And so, yeah, we've pretty much got the best of the best equipment, which is awesome. And then it took about 2 months to set up. And we had, it was just me and one CA. And Victoria actually was also from North Carolina. She had worked in another Maximize Living, Dr. Blake Livingood's office for 3 years. And she moved out here 6 months before me. And so we kind of just got put in touch. And so she knew all the back office stuff. I didn't really have to train her, which was amazing. Definitely a bad thing. Awesome. And so she just started right in. It was me and her. And we literally grew from 0 to 500 a week.
Wow.
in less than 3 months. So it was a busy 3 months.
I'm sure. So like you were saying, it's free if they're in a program. So do people did they come in and apply to be a part of a program, or how does that work? Or do they kind of go out and find people that really need it and just talk to them and get them involved?
So it kind of goes both ways. There is a whole intake process in order to be in one of the programs here. Mm-hmm. They have to fill out an application. They have to have interviews. And they really have to establish that they really need this, but also that they really want this, because it's free. It is volunteer. So technically they can leave whenever they want. And most of our society is used to, especially the drug and alcohol rehab program. Most people are thinking like, oh, it's 30 days or, oh, it's 60 days. But this is a full year program, and it is extremely intense. There's a lot of men and women that actually do come from prison and from jail. And they say that prison or jail was a walk in the park, like a piece of cake compared to this program. So, but there will also be people, they do outreaches all over the city in their food truck ministry, and they go down to Skid Row. And they're always inviting them to the church services here that they have Thursday and Sunday, but they're also inviting them like, hey, we have a home, we have a place where you can come if you're ready to get help.
Yeah, no, that's really great. So so like your office, is that set up like a program? Like they see it and they come in if they're interested, or is it like a mandatory part of their care now?
Yeah. So both. If they are in the rehab program, it is already set in their schedules that we have. So I see them twice a week, and they come in and they do the doctor's reports, they do the x-rays, they do all of that stuff. And then they come in every Monday and Thursday, or Monday and Wednesday, depending on where they're at in their program. And then the other programs that are here, like the family floor and the veterans, they have a little bit more leeway. It's not as structured. And so they can come in and whenever the other hours that were open outside of the drug and alcohol rehab program. And then we also have community members who just like any other clinic, come in and they actually pay for their care too. So essentially we have 2 clinics in one.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. I mean, I just think that's really great because I mean, you think about like all of these like drug rehab centers, and I don't know, you get mixed reviews from people because obviously you're not getting everything that like that you guys would be providing there. Because I mean, obviously, they're getting the chiropractic care, they're getting nutrition counseling there. I mean, it's really mind, body, spirit, and you're not getting that in other places.
Yes. There's a lot of guys and girls in the program that when they come through here, they are super surprised because they may not have even known that it was here. And there's specifically this one guy, Jamie, he's actually in the 2nd year program here. So he went through the first full year, graduated, and now he's helping different ministries here. And every time he comes in, he's super thankful. And he's like, I just still can't believe that we get to get this for free. He's like, I know that this costs thousands of dollars outside of here. And to be able to get this is just amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah. That's so great. So are there any certain like stories from people that have really just like, reinforced, your why, so like why you're there, just that really like hit your heart that you want to share?
Yeah, there is. There's so many of them because we have miracles that happen all the time, but there's a couple. And the first one is Christian. So Christian came in day one, and he literally like wouldn't even look anybody in the eyes, and he was looking down. And very just, you could tell he was broken. He was kind of rock bottom, which a lot of them are when they come in here. But he had been plagued for years with anxiety, panic attacks, almost on a daily basis. And he came in September. I think it was like September 9th. And later on, I found out that September 9th, his first day in the office, was the last time he had a panic attack.
Wow. How old was he?
Anxiety. He's in his upper 30s. And the cool thing is that he went through the program, and he actually, in their 2nd year, he stayed a 2nd year, and in their 2nd year, they get to work with a different ministry. And he ended up coming into our office and helping us, for 6 months. And so then he was able to pour into the guys in the program, and he got to tell his testimony a lot of how this completely changed, his perspective of health and where it comes from, because he just thought it was normal to have anxiety and panic attacks every single day.
Yeah.
And he has since then left this program, and he went back home to Colorado, and he got a job lined up. He is now working at helping with the Dream Center in Colorado. So it's definitely a success story of seeing somebody coming here broken, on drugs, on alcohol, has been through so much, and then completely like changed his life, and is now helping others with what he went through. Yeah.
I mean, he has a whole like new purpose, and he left there with more hope, and that's so awesome. So are there certain like ages that you see more of, or do you have like families with like kids that are coming in as well?
So specifically in the Discipleship Rehab program, and I'm talking a lot about that one because that is the main program. There's anywhere from 180 to 250 in that at a time. And you're supposed to be 18 years old and above.
Okay.
If you're below that, there is what's called the Freedom House, and it's an emancipated youth home that they have here as well. And they are actually required to come in to see me at least for that first time. And most of them do follow through, but they are, teenagers who, a lot of them have been out on the streets. They have PTSD. They're on all sorts of medications. And so we work with them on helping them get off of those medications, along with their psychiatrists and their doctors as well. And then the rehab program, they're anywhere between 18 and like 65. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people that are in their 60s, 65s. The problem is that this program is based on work therapy. And so they have to be able to do the work here. And so depending on what their physical condition is, some of them have a hard time with it. And then they're able to help them find a different program to go to if they're not able to do the work here. And then we also do see with the family floor and the single parents floor, they're able to come in. So we see babies, there's a lot of little kids that run around, and so they're all able to come into the office and get care as well.
Yeah, that's great. What it like the first program that you were talking about that you said that has the most? How was that one ran? Like who comes into that one?
Yep. So that is the Discipleship Rehab program.
Okay.
So anybody who has an addiction, mostly to drugs and alcohol, but they don't necessarily have to. Some of them are actually court ordered here. So instead of doing time in jails, because jails are now being overcrowded, the judges will actually send them here and say, hey, if you do a year here, then you can, your stuff will like go away. But so anybody that really basically is at rock bottom and they need to get their life back together and they really have no hope, they're completely broken. And it, like I said, it is a very, very strict program. From the time that they wake up in the morning, which will be depending on what type of job they have, if they're in kitchen prep, or if they're security. Some of them have to do night shifts. Some of them have to get up at 4:30 in the morning. Everybody will get up at 6:30 in the morning, and then they'll do they have their prayer walks and they have their worship services that they have to go to together. They have everything is structured throughout the day. So they have their class times and then they have their work therapy times. And then if they get in trouble, they have different hours that they have to work off. And so some of them will do landscaping and some of them will work with the different kitchen crew or the cleaning crew. And so they basically keep this place running while being in the program.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you noticed that since your clinic has gotten there that certain, numbers have increased, just people coming in, can't think of the word right off, not compliance, but you know what I mean? People are more, staying on
successful.
More successful with their certain programs.
Yeah. So actually, I'm glad you asked that. We've been doing research here in the clinic for the last 2.5 years to show that. And subjectively, when we asked everybody that was in the program, 35% said that they stayed in the program. They were going to leave at one point, but they stayed in the program because specifically of our clinic.
That's awesome.
Because they wanted help. We've had several guys and girls who have left and then have come back and been like, I came back because I knew that I needed to get the care specifically in this office. But we are doing research to show that. So that was subjectively. Objectively, I'm literally getting all of the information together for the last 2.5 years and sending it off this week for somebody outside of here, a non-biased person, to look at all of the data. And my goal is that to show that the ones who are consistently getting corrective chiropractic care, that that they would be more successful, that they wouldn't be getting in trouble as much, that they're more likely to graduate and to stay clean. And so that's the goal, is that for that research to show that. So hopefully within the next couple of months, I'll actually have solid numbers for that.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I mean, that helps in so many ways because there are dream centers. I know we didn't really cover it, but there are dream centers all over the country. So just to be able to be like, hey, we should have this in every one because look at the success, look at the numbers. Because there aren't any more clinics, right, so far?
Well, no, there's one other big one that they opened in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
There's a dream center there, but their dream center just starting from ground up, and the clinic is starting from ground up too. So just in this last year, they've started. So their programs are very small compared to what we have here, because this dream center has been going for, I think this year will be 23 years that this dream center has been going. And it's the largest and it's the biggest. But there are a couple hundred other smaller. Some of them are super, super small. Some of them are just outreach centers. Some of them don't have people actually living in their programs, but they are still called dream centers across the country.
Right. I know, because I'm in Orlando, but I know that there's a smaller one in Tampa, and I've been over there before. I'm not exactly sure all of the programs that they have. I just know that it's not huge, but I don't know their plans in the future for that. So.
Yeah, our goal is we're calling those like smaller outreach centers. So doctors, chiropractors who already have established businesses are able to go out to the communities that have like smaller dream centers and say, hey, I want to be able to help. I want to donate my services to your people. And so they can go like once a week or twice a week, just kind of outside their hours and just donate their time to help.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, it all, obviously makes a huge impact as well. So how has this impacted like your life? Because I know obviously when you're, around a lot of situations like you are, that could obviously be really stressful and hard, but at the same time, very rewarding. So I just, I'd like to hear about like how you've learned to deal with all of it, but at the same time, remember, why you are doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, what a lot of people don't know is I've been here for 3 years, and the majority of those 3 years I've actually lived on campus. So I live in the Dream Center.
Oh, that's cool.
And that has been an amazing experience. It's been a really hard experience because, I'm a 32-year-old doctor and I live in a dorm room.
Right.
And it's literally, they tell you not to take work home with you, but that's really hard because I live where I work. Right. So it is home. And obviously that's been very hard, but it's also to the same fact has been super rewarding because I've learned that less is more. And there's so many guys and girls in the program that come in here and they are literally at the rock bottom that they have nothing. This is kind of their last chance, their last hope. And they're super, super thankful and grateful to me and my staff. And there's at least 1 to 5 people every single time that they come in. They're like, thank you for doing what you're doing. It's completely changing my life. And we get to be a part of their life and their story, and we get to see them grow and change. And there's, like I said, there's about 200 people in the program at all times. So that's a lot of people, and you get to see, you get to encourage them, and you can see when they're down and out. And so just to be a part of their story and see their lives change, and to see them move forward and move on is always amazing. But at the same time, like I said, it is hard. There's been many tears from me and from my staff at certain times. But when you get to tell somebody about chiropractic, about innate intelligence, about how the power that made the body heals the body, and they literally had no idea. And if they did have an idea, they didn't have any way to get the care, and to give somebody something that they can't give you anything in return. There's nothing quite like that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm sure I'm sure that they just, love and respect you even more just because, you are living there. Like yeah. You are there for them. And that doesn't happen like other places,
right. A lot of them in the beginning, they'll come in their first visit and I can tell a lot of them are like, why am I at a chiropractor? Like, why? This is so stupid.
Yeah.
And then when I go through the doctor's report and I explain to them structural correction, I show them different x-rays, and then we take their x-rays. And when they find out that, and I tell them, like, sometimes I'll tell them, be like, I live here, like, and their respect, I can just see it in their eyes. They're like, wow, like, we respect you because you really are here for us. So it's a great experience.
That's cool. Is there another doctor there right now, or is it just you right now?
No, it's been just me this whole time.
Okay.
We are working at getting another doctor in.
Nice.
And potentially, originally it started out as an independent contractor position, but he actually might be taking over and I might be moving on. Obviously, if I do move on, this place will continue to stay.
Right.
And I'll actually be doing work for the foundation outside of this place as well.
Yeah, just helping with the growth and
different.
Well, you've got to see everything firsthand, so you could really, help build out a lot of different clinics.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my whole goal, I'm writing a book right now on my experience and some of the testimonies here.
That's awesome.
And how the whole opioid addiction epidemic is going on, because most people don't realize how really bad it is.
Yeah.
For instance, as an adult, you're more likely to die from an overdose of a prescription painkiller than a car accident these days. So it's insane. And a lot of people, they start off, a lot of the guys and girls in this program, they have a musculoskeletal issue. That is why they've started on those pain pills. And then 4 out of 5 people who are addicted to heroin is because of the pain pills. That's how they started. And so if we can get to the root cause and correct that, before they ever get in that situation. So I'm writing a book about that. And then my goal would be to go around and speak and raise awareness and to raise funds so that we can have more clinics like this.
That's awesome. And when do you think that would be out?
I'm in the middle of writing it right now. It just depends on how quickly I can get it edited. So my goal is in the next couple of months. I still don't have a name for it yet. But I can definitely let you know when it is.
Yeah, definitely. And I might have a few people that I might get you in contact with, pretty close to the city that I grew up in, like a half an hour away. I grew up in West Virginia. So, in Huntington, West Virginia, it's actually one of the highest I can't even say it right now.
Opioids.
Thank you. It got tongue tied. Highest addictions there in the entire
world. In the U.S. Yeah.
Yep. And have you seen all of the stuff with that city in particular? Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. It's extremely sad. And, I think it was last year alone, there was a day where there was almost 30 overdose cases within a 6-hour period or something like that. It was insane. But I know a lot of people over there that are, working hard, trying to make a difference. But obviously something like that would be something that they would be very, very interested in.
Absolutely. Put me in contact with them. I would love to speak with them.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But, the book is exciting. So what is the best way for people to follow what you're doing and keep up with you so they know when the book comes out and they can see, everything that you're up to?
So the best way would be on Facebook is to follow the office, which is Maximize Living Health Center in the Dream Center. Okay. That's the actual name. I know it's kind of long, but it's Maximize Living Health Center in the Dream Center. And we like to post videos of testimonies, and I'll definitely have my book information on there. That's also because we are run off of a lot of donations. They can donate on there. And anything else, that's pretty much where we put all of our information.
Cool. And then do you have one personally that you have out that you're sharing the stuff that you're doing as well?
I do. Mine is April Smith _DC, Doctor of Chiropractic.
Okay.
And a lot of it goes hand in hand with that too. Most of the stuff will be on both.
I got you.
So they can do that as well.
Was that on Facebook or was that on Instagram?
Facebook.
Okay.
It's both actually, Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. Well, I'll put both of those links in the show notes. That way people can go and click and follow what you're doing and follow what the Dream Center is doing, and obviously keep up for when the book comes out, because that sounds amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited to share what you're doing with people, and excited for people to start following you and follow your journey with all of this.
Thank you so much for having me.